So next, I want to talk about my view on marriage and relationships between men and women. I think this is very, very important because I hear a lot of guys that are influencers, podcasters on YouTube that have gone through divorce, and they give advice to men who are divorced or going through divorce. And I think your perspective on that and their perspective is very important. Because there's some I was listening to it when I was going through my divorce. I'm trying to get clarity. I'm trying to get, direction, and I want to get wisdom from guys that have been there and done that and have some wisdom. And then I'm listening to them and I'm like, I don't like the angle this guy's coming from. So I just want to share with you my angle of what I believe. I've shared with you what I believe about divorce. Now I want to share with you, here's what I believe about marriage and about relationships between men and women. Okay, and again, this is just so you can be clear about, am I a guy you need to listen to? Because your beliefs may be different than my beliefs, and if they are, that's fine. You may not want to listen to me. But I'm very, very strong and very convicted on all of this. So there's several things I want to share with you about my beliefs on marriage, really five principles that I believe about marriage and relationships with men and women. Number one, I believe in the sanctity and beauty of marriage. I still believe in it. Okay, I have been divorced. I've been married 3 times. I have been divorced 3 times. Every single time I swore it was till death do us part. Okay, first marriage, I'm the one that wrecked it. Okay, it was my decision. I walked out. Second marriage was toxic. It's a long story. You'll hear in future episodes of my podcast. You'll hear about all of these. But with all I've been through, and I get this advice, and I'll see this on my social media and comments all this time. I'm like, well, here's how you avoid ever having to have problems like that with a woman divorce. Just don't ever get married again. That's the best way. I'm single. I'm done. I gave one house away in my life. My last divorce, I'm not ever doing that again. I'm just not going to marry again. So basically they're saying I don't believe in marriage anymore, which I'm like, okay, I get it. If a guy doesn't want to remarry, I'm totally fine with that. I'm not trying to say you should, but if you are going to be back in a relationship and you do want a queen, you want it to have that special bond, oneness relationship, then I believe in the sanctity of marriage. I believe in the value of the covenant that a man and a woman makes before God, because I believe in a great marriage. In a healthy marriage, there is stability and power that comes from a man and a woman building their life together and doing it in a full commitment, a covenant that they make with each other. And if they're believers, a covenant you make before God. And just because it's failed doesn't mean it's not a great idea. Just because we haven't executed it perfectly doesn't mean it's bad. So I still am a believer, but I will hear guys that are like, they're against marriage. Like, why would you ever get married again? It's, you're just putting yourself at risk. You're putting yourself financially in jeopardy because because of family and divorce laws and how they're set up against men and all that. And I get it. I don't disagree. But I still believe in marriage. I still believe in the dream. I still believe in happily ever after, and I still believe in love. So I believe, number one, I believe in the sanctity of marriage. Number 2, I believe in love. I believe that love is real. I believe it's powerful. I believe there is nothing better. When God said it is not good for man to be alone, it doesn't mean that a man has to have a woman to be whole and to be okay, but it's definitely going to add a dimension to your life that is awesome. And I love it. I believe in it. My fiance says, you're in love with love. And I'm like, that is true. I love love. I love being in love. I love being in a relationship that's a healthy, strong, powerful, passionate relationship. And guys that are cynical about love, that they're like, that's just a great way to set yourself up for heartbreak. I get it. That's just not going to be me. I believe in love. So this podcast is going to be for you if you're the guy who says, I want to have a great relationship. I believe in love and I want the fairy tale. I want the real thing and I want real love and I want it to last for a lifetime. I still believe in all of that, which leads to my third thing that I believe in. That is, I believe in women. I believe in women. I believe that women are awesome. I believe they're amazing. I believe there's everything about them makes them just amazing. Now, the things that are difficult for us as men to understand and deal with, yes, but that's part of what makes it such an adventure. I believe women are equal to men, but I also believe women are different from men. And so many of the influencers that I've watched and listened to on YouTube and podcasts, they talk to divorced men or they talk about dating and sex. They have this inherently very negative view about women, that women are basically self-serving gold diggers who eventually are going to break your heart and they're going to take advantage of you for money or just for their own, whatever their own desires are. And they really are like, it's a dark pit. So enjoy dating, enjoy sex, but don't get tied into a woman because she's going to eventually break your heart. Okay? And I don't believe that. Now, are there women out there like that? Yes. Are there situations like that that happen? Yes, absolutely. No question about it. But that doesn't mean it's that way with everybody. I still believe in women. So if that is your view of women and that is your belief and your expectation, here's what I can promise you. You're going to attract that very thing that you don't want into your life, because this is a universal law that you get what you expect. So if you expect a woman to be a gold digger and break your heart and use you and then take advantage of you and then leave you someday, then that's what's going to happen. Because subconsciously, your mind is going to do the things required to make that happen. So I believe that women are amazing. I also believe and know that women seek security and they seek love and they seek intimacy in that order. Especially you guys that are watching this are over 40, which is probably the majority of you, because it's really the guys that I work with and I train are guys over 40 who've been down the road and they're now looking at having to start over in their life single and alone, is that when you start dating, you go back into the dating pool, it's a different world. And women over 40, their number one desire, the number one thing that they're interested in a relationship is security. They want security. They want to be secure in the relationship. They want to be secure in their life. More than they want love and more than they want intimacy, they want security. Now, they want love and they want intimacy, but security is what drives them. Now, also understand, my brother, they also have their own issues. Every single woman I've ever met and every single woman God ever made, she, just like you, has her issues. She has her baggage. She has her stuff that she is going to bring into that relationship just like you do. But she can still be a whole woman. And you could still build a healthy relationship, baggage, scars, and all, but it's going to be work. And this is the reason that I'm bringing this podcast, is because I'm going to help you and guide you in making the right decisions, and making the right choices, and doing the right things, and avoiding the mistakes so that you can do the work and build that kind of a relationship. So that leads to my fourth thing that I believe about marriage. My fourth view of marriage and relationships is I believe in fighting for the relationship. There is not any perfect relationship. And there is this idea of happily ever after. While I believe in it, I believe in happily ever after. Ever after what? I believe in happily ever after conflict. Ever after fighting. After the difficulties. There are going to be difficulties. There are going to be differences. There are going to be collision. And that you've got to be willing to fight through that. No marriage is perfect. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be times that you're like, I don't like her. There's going to be times she doesn't like you. Doesn't matter. But as a man, you must be the leader. If a relationship can be saved and healed, and truly healed, it is beautiful, it is awesome, and it is powerful. But I'm going to also say that staying in a dead relationship has no upside. Okay, well, I'll talk more about this in future episodes, but staying in a dead relationship, a dead marriage, has no upside. It doesn't have an upside for you, doesn't have an upside for her, and it doesn't have an upside for your kids. This idea of staying together for your kids is total bullshit. Because all you do is you teach your kids that that is what a real relationship is like, and it's miserable, and everybody's miserable, and you don't like it, and you're lying. You're going out there with this happy face and acting like we're this one big happy family when you ain't a happy family. Your housemates and your kids are going to see that, and that is going to dramatically shape their perspectives of the other sex. That's going to dramatically impact their belief about relationships, what marriage can be like, and whether or not they even want to be married, whether they even want to be in a relationship. And so this idea of staying in a dead relationship, it is not that. So you may be asking, so what about the children? Well, staying together for the kids is just teaching them that relationships are bullshit. That you're teaching them that you can be in a relationship where there's no love, there's no respect, there's no personal happiness, that what's most important is keeping up appearances or trying to do what's right at your own expense, even when the relationship is dead. What's right is to fix it And if you're not willing and able to fix it, then what's right is to move on with your life. Okay, again, there's a whole lot of pieces here. Okay, but kids are ultimately the victim either way of a bad, broken, or dead relationship. Whether you stay together or don't stay together, they're going to be the victims, whether you keep living in the same house or not. They just learn to accept lies and not speak them when you stay in the same house. Okay, so when a wife leaves a marriage emotionally, it is dead. Brother, if you're in this marriage and your wife has left it emotionally, your marriage is dead. The covenant has been broken because all the vows that she made at the beginning of the marriage have been broken. Okay? Maybe you say, well, I'm still fighting for my marriage. I get it. You know, we pledged ourselves to one another for life in holy matrimony. This is not holy matrimony. What you have now is not holy matrimony. She's been violating the vows. You probably violated some vows of your own. The vows you took when you got married. There is nothing holy about a dead relationship. And the same is true if a man abandons a relationship emotionally and doesn't keep his vows. Okay? The relationship is dead. Can you revive it? Yes. Unless you can't. Unless you won't or she won't. If one or both of you are not willing to do the work and one of you's gone, like, I'm gone. I'll stay in the house for the kids, for the sake of appearances, but our relationship is over. And she won't touch you. She won't talk to you. She won't make love to you. All the vows are being broken, my friend. The covenant is being broken. The covenant is gone. It is a dead relationship. So the fifth thing I believe about marriage and about a relationship between a man and woman, I believe it is the man's financial responsibility to provide for and protect his family in every way. It is your responsibility. It is your responsibility to make the marriage work. Okay? It is your responsibility to create an environment and an atmosphere in which your wife can feel secure, that she can feel loved, that she can feel valued and valuable and precious and adored and never want to leave it. That's your responsibility. It is your responsibility to provide for her and for your family financially, to protect her from everything, including financial stress. I believe that's your responsibility. You're like, that's a lot to believe, right? It's like both of us have to work just to pay bills. I get that. I just think that's not the way God wants it. I don't think you are living up to your responsibility. I think it's one of the reasons your marriage died. Okay? Now, I don't know all your circumstances, but this is one of the things that happens in a lot of our marriages, and this is what God says. God says a man who does not provide for his own family, especially for those of his own household, has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. That's what God said. God said a man who does not provide for his family, especially those of his own household, which means you're responsible for your family as a man. You're the one who's responsible. God didn't say a man who doesn't work with his wife and send her to work and send her to a job and she works and helps provide, you help provide, and together you provide. No, he says a man who does not provide for his family has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. What? Yep. That's 1 Timothy 5:8. My friend, go look it up. This is your responsibility. It is in a context of being a man and a husband that your responsibility is to take care of your family, to take care of your wife, to provide for her. And we bought into this bag of bullshit in America that says double income, that both parents, both husband and wife need to work to pay the bills because cost of living and all this. No. You live in America, my friend. If you're watching this, most of you are going to live in America or North America. You live in the most abundant land in the world, and you can go out there and you can make enough money to provide for your family. You have just settled. And I get it. You may have a story going like, yeah, but I'm working blah, blah, blah. You may have to do something different. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm saying it's your responsibility. And if you are single, I'm going to say it's your responsibility to position yourself that way to be able to provide and protect your wife, your queen, before you go into another relationship. You're not ready to start dating until you're ready to provide for a woman. Now, you can go out and date around if you want to, but if you're looking for a serious relationship and you want to find the one and her become your queen, she doesn't want to marry a peasant. They can't take care of her. They can't provide for her. I've been there. I've been in that relationship where I could not pay the bills. And guess what it did to our relationship? It destroyed it. It is your responsibility to provide and protect for your family in every way, financially, emotionally, spiritually, relationally. It is your responsibility to protect the environment, to protect the boundaries of your relationship, to love her in a way that she feels safe and that she feels wanted, that makes her respect you and makes her want to be in that relationship with you, makes her love you back. Okay? I know this is brutal and this is hard. If you enjoyed this video and want to watch another one, you can click right here. If you want to see the entire podcast, click right here.